Hello and namaste. Welcome to MMA Weekly Bite episode number 2. This is me, Biraz Gautam. At first, I would like to wish every one of you Happy New Year 2024. May this year brings us lots of amazing fights. Okay, so let's start the show. Today we'll talk about different news regarding MMA and boxing. Okay, we have news regarding like Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler, Leon Edwards, Bilal Muhammad, Khabib. We also news regarding like Khamzat. We have news regarding Joshua. We have news regarding Francis Ngannou. All those things. So tighten your seat belt, okay? At first, let me talk about Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler. Recently, Conor McGregor posted a video. He's saying that I'll be back at International Fight Week at June 2024, and I'll be fighting at middleweight against Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler gives credit that whenever Conor McGregor talks about the fight dates, every time that fight happens, okay? So as a fan, we are sure we get to see Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler at the month of June. But are we sure about middleweight division? Really? Chandler was asked, hey, are you guys gonna fight in middleweight division? He said no, I don't know, 50-50. Okay, so he's not even sure about the division yet. So let's see. And he was asked why Conor McGregor talked about middleweight division, and Michael Chandler said, we know how Conor would like to show himself, right? He would like to show he's big, he's like buffed, He even accused Conor McGregor that he wears razors in his shoes. Heel razors, right? Chandler said Conor called him out at the middleweight division because at first Michael Chandler called Conor McGregor at welterweight division, and so Conor would like to, as per Chandler, Conor would like to look big, and he wants to establish dominance. He doesn't want to run. He doesn't want to move in other people's direction, right? So he wants to establish his own dominance. So that's why he called Michael Chandler for middleweight division. That's what Michael Chandler said, okay, in his last interview. And he was asked, can you defeat Conor McGregor? And what he said was that every mental tough people can defeat Conor McGregor. In his own words, he said Nate Diaz defeated him, Nassim Poirier defeated him because those guys were mentally tough. And he said, I am mentally tough as well. In one of the interviews, he was asked, why don't you stand up for yourself, man? UFC is doing whatever Conor McGregor is saying. Why don't you have some words? Why don't you have some respect for yourself? And what Chandler said is that as we know how motivated he is, right? Look at Michael Chandler's status or post and everywhere at social media. See you at the top. See you at the top. He's always motivated, right? He said, if I start to throw a rock at every dog that barks in his way to success, then I will never be there. So yeah. That's the word coming out from Michael Chandler. And he also said that he'll finish Conor McGregor at first earlier rounds. And he said, and he was also asked, do you think Conor will be facing you as the last opponent in his MMA career? And he said yes. He said, I'll be the one who will finish the biggest star of the UFC, that is Conor McGregor. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys are excited. I'm kind of excited. I'm excited as well. If this guy's gonna fight in the middleweight division, really 185 pounds, man, that's amazing. Imagine the two buff dudes fighting at each other, man. We have never seen buffed, Conor or Chandler at the ring, right? So we get to see. Well, let's say, 50-50. There's a. Let's see. Okay, let's have some patience. Okay. So let's move forward. Okay. For those of you who don't know about International Fight Week of UFC, so it's an annual event, that takes every year, right? And in this week, they have an event called UFC X, where all contenders, we're all like top contenders, UFC champion, UFC like Hall of Famers, they gather and for 2 days straight, the fans get to meet and greet those fighters. It's a really amazing opportunity for the fans. I think the ticket is also very not so expensive compared to the regular ticket prices. And all those fans can enjoy their time with their favorite fighters. And also they also have a UFC Hall of Fame ceremony at that particular week. And of course they also have the fight, and in this year fight, Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler are gonna fight. Okay, and at the end of the week, I think they also have their official UFC pool party. So that's it, guys. So let's move forward. Belal, remember the name Muhammad. He's planning to go to Dagestan once again. He's planning to go to Dagestan to train with Khabib for his potential match against Leon Edwards for welterweight championship. The last time Belal trained with Khabib, he finished Sean Brady, who was on 15-fight win streak. Sean Brady is no joke, guys. Sean Brady, submitted Kevin Gastelum. Kevin Gastelum, the man who gave tough time to Israel Adesanya. The picture you see of Israel Adesanya, like all the swollen faces, it was because due to this man called Kevin Gastelum. And Sean Brady defeated Kevin Gastelum, and Belal defeated Sean Brady when he was in 15-fight win streak. So just imagine how Belal improved his game after training with Khabib. In the fight between Belal and Sean Brady, Khabib was cornering him. Okay, so can we see new champ Belal against Edwards by new form of Khabib, Khabib Dagestani training? Because the Belal said that his training is completed, he has been training with his regular guys, regularly, right? And he knows his guys weakness, strength, and all those things. But when he trains with those Dagestani guys, they don't let you rest. They fight for intense, they fight intensely, and and definitely it's gonna be out of his comfort zone, right? Because he doesn't know how those guys fight. So he believes that he can improve his game a lot. So and that's the reason he wants to go to Dagestan for his further training. And also recently Henry Cejudo said that the closest fighter to Khabib that we see stylistically is Belal. The way Belal fights, it's stylistically close to Khabib. So let's see. The Belal has improved a lot. So anything can happen in this division, So I think this fight will take place at UFC 300, even though it hasn't been confirmed yet. So let's move forward. All right, another great news. Dana White recently, talked about this fight. We also talked about this fight in our earlier episode number 1. We talked about how Charles Oliveira may face Arman Tsarukyan or Islam Makhachev. So now it has been confirmed officially that Charles Oliveira will be facing Arman Tsarukyan at UFC 300. Yes, and this fight will be for number 1 contender for lightweight division. Fun fact, Arman Tsarukyan and Charles Oliveira, their both last fight was with Beneil Dariush. Beneil Dariush was a big name. This man was he had improved, he had really amazing game, right? And they thought that he would be a new big threat to lightweight, but man, he lost to both these guys, Arman Tsarukyan and Charles Oliveira, and he got finished in first round. And we'll be able to see these both finisher fight at UFC 300. And of course, as per Dana, Islam Makhachev is injured. So after these guys fight, Charles Oliveira and Sarikan fight, the winner gets to fight against Islam Makhachev for the title. So that's really exciting news, right, guys? Aren't you excited? Let's move forward. Now another fight, another news for UFC 299 co-main event. That is Dustin Poirier versus Benoit Saint-Denis. Dustin Poirier is third ranked at UFC lightweight. This man will be facing 12th ranked Benoit Saint-Denis. I mean, Dustin Poirier is regarded as one of the greatest boxers in UFC. I mean, and talking about Benoit Saint-Denis, he's a French ex-Special Forces Army in the military, okay? And this man is a 5-win streak, and he has finished all his opponents before third round. This man is a finisher, man. So if you watched his last fight against Matt Favola, he finished Matt Favola at first round with an intense head kick. I mean, and it would be like, man, he's not Benoit Saint-Denis is not even top 10. I mean, Dustin Poirier is like UFC veteran. I mean, definitely Poirier gonna win. But come on, I mean, if you look at Sean O'Malley, the present bantamweight champion, he was not in top 10 when he defeated Peter Yan, and he fought Aljamain Sterling and got the title. So anything can happen in MMA, man. MMA math doesn't work. So UFC 299, all those exciting news, man. I'm really excited. Dustin Poirier versus Benoit Saint-Denis. And of course, I'm gonna tell you something. Benoit Saint-Denis and Dustin Poirier, they both wanted for a 5-round fight, so they got a 5-round fight as per Dana White. So let's move forward. Return of Jorge Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal tweeted unretired, even though he said he was retired back when after he fought Gilbert Burns, but now he said he's unretired, and we are seeing him back, definitely seeing him back, but I think we'll be seeing him against Ben Askren. The fight between those guys was the fastest knockout ever. Jorge Masvidal knocked knee to his face, flying knee to Ben Askren face, and he got knocked out at first 5 seconds of the first round. And Ben Askren has also some positive signal for his return against Jorge Masvidal. And talking about there was also a rumor that Jorge Masvidal will be fighting Leon Edwards at UFC 300 because Bilal cannot draw that much of crowd for the pay-per-view points, and they thought that Jorge Masvidal will be fighting Leon Edwards. And they also that the people thought in the internet that since at one of the event Jorge Masvidal hit Leon Edwards multiple times, and he always says, I hate him with 3-piece and a soda and all those stuff. And it was it could be a good story, right, to make this fight do all those to make this fight interesting, right? And people thought that Jorge Masvidal will be fighting Leon Edwards, but I think we'll see Jorge Masvidal fighting Ben Askren rather than Leon Edwards. Okay, let's move forward. Khamzat Chimaev recently posted some photos regarding his illness. His face looked swollen. He had blood sort in his eyes. After fight with Kamaru Usman. In that fight, the winner was supposed to face Sean Strickland, but Khamzat had to do something with his hand. He got injured, and there was to be a surgery for Khamzat's hand. And in that time, he also got sick, and that's why he couldn't be there to fight against Sean Strickland. So now, Dricus du Plessis is fighting against Sean Strickland, and Khamzat again. He also recently posted that he'll be back, and he says, I'm feeling better. So that's it, guys. Khamzat Chimaev will be back in 2024, And I don't know, let's see who is gonna fight. I mean, after Sean Strickland and Dricus du Plessis, what's the future for middleweight division and future for Khamzat Chimaev? Moving on, Stipe Miocic, Tom Aspinall, John Jones. I mean, you know, John Jones was supposed to fight Stipe Miocic, but due to his surgery, John Jones was out, and Stipe Miocic also like, you know, not. He's also waiting for John Jones' recovery. Tom Aspinall won against Sergey Pavlovich for the interim heavyweight title, and now Tom Aspinall is waiting to unify the belt. You know, the belt that is owned right by John Jones and his belt that's the interim title. And he also like recently, you know, said in social media that when Stipe Miocic was champion, GTA San Andreas just came to PS2. So I mean, he say, and Stipe Miocic like replied saying that, hey man, I had nothing to do with that John Jones fight not happening. He got injured, and definitely once I win, I'll be there to unify the belt. So I mean, Stipe Miocic looks confident that he's gonna beat John Jones, and he'll come to Tom Aspinall and fight for the unified heavyweight UFC title. Alright, let's move forward. Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua, you know, regarded one of the like greatest boxer in heavyweight division, and Francis Ngannou, I mean, the man from who was like, you know, mining sands back in Africa, and who became UFC heavyweight champion by knocking out one of the goats, the goat of the greatest of all time of heavyweight division, Stipe Miocic. He knocked him out, and he won the title. And he left UFC, and you know, he fought Tyson Fury, one of the greats of present time. He gave a tough time to Tyson Fury, and he also knocked him down. You know, Francis Ngannou knocked Tyson Fury. It was really like, you know, a shocking moment for many of the fans around the world. And yes, now it's time for Francis Ngannou to fight against Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua, who has won lots of, you know, championship throughout his career. He's also Olympic gold medal. He won Olympic gold medal at 2012. And you know, we get to see Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua pretty soon. I think this fight is about to happen around March. The initial the initial thing was Anthony Joshua was supposed to fight the power puncher Deontay Wilder, but after his recent upset loss, I mean, Deontay is out, and now Anthony Joshua is fighting Francis Ngannou. So let's see. I mean, the man, homeless man who came to France and started his fighting career and came to USA and, you know, became UFC champion, and now he went to boxing and he won one of the he gave a tough time to one of the greats, and now he's fighting another one of the greats. So definitely amazing story for Francis as well. And hopefully and we get to see and this fight is gonna happen at Saudi Arabia in March. Okay, last but not least, we get to see rematch Magomed Ankalaev and Johnny Walker coming Sunday Nepali time, Jan 14. I mean, Johnny Walker is really funny, man. The last time he was, the last time they fought, and you know, due to illegal strike by Magomed Ankalaev, doctor came and he asked Johnny Walker where was he, and his answer was, I'm at the desert. I mean, they were fighting at Abu Dhabi, and that's also a desert. And again, they're fighting again at the desert, and that is Las Vegas. So definitely, I mean, hopefully this time the fight goes well. And I mean, you shouldn't miss out this fight, because these two guys, they are really a big threat to light heavyweight division. Yes, you got that right. The division where Alex Pereira, Hiri Provatska, Hen Blahovic, Alexander Rakic, our Jamal Hill, So these fighters are really big threat to light heavyweight. So you shouldn't miss out this fight, okay? And also, Manuel Kape versus Nicolau, and the second fight. And talking about Manuel Kape, this man is really funny. I mean, you guys should definitely check out his trash talk as well. And these guys are fighting at the same fight night with Johnny Walker and Magomed Ankalaev coming Sunday. And if you want to see Kape some funny moment, you definitely see the press conference between Israel Adesanya and Sean Strickland, and when the Sean Strickland and when Israel Adesanya and Manuel Kape, the Kape, they went for some altercation, and that's really funny as a fan. And of course, so that's it, guys. Hope to see you next week again, and enjoy this fight coming Sunday, Jan 14. Thank you guys for watching this episode. Next week we'll be back again with lots of exciting fights, okay? I mean, now when I'm recording this video, there are already much more news coming out there about UFC and some other exciting fights. So wait for us until next week. We'll see you again. Have a great day.